This is Dr. Andrew Jones. In this edition of Veterinary Secrets, I'm going to show you how to tell if your cat is drinking too much water and what could be causing it. Hi you guys, welcome again back to my channel. This edition of Veterinary Secrets is specific about cats that are drinking too much water. And today we have our guest cat. This is Gussie. I think many of you know her. She doesn't really like being on video, so I'm going to try to pretend like there's nothing happening. Yes, we're just here to give you attention today, Gussie. So how can you tell, or what would make you suspect that your cat is drinking too much water? I mean, how could you tell? Well, to begin with, most of the time when I would have clients come into the veterinary clinic, I mean, either one, they're seeing their cat just bent over at the water bowl, drinking and drinking. Gussie is an example here. I'll show you her water bowl. She's, in some cases, draining it almost in one night. And then secondly, just going in to clean a litter box and just seeing, multiple amounts of urine throughout the day where it's almost overflowing or just filled up. Whereas in the past, you might have just seen one or two small spots. This bowl here, this is Gussie's water bowl. It holds, I'll fill it up nearly a cup filled with water. And she'll go through that almost in a day. This here is a measuring cup. I think you guys can see. It might be hard to see the lines on it, but I've put an exact 250 mils or 1 cup of water in that. I think you can see it there. And that would be the approximate amount an average 4 to 5 kilogram cat should be drinking in a 24-hour period. So that is the amount of moisture we'd hope a cat would take in that period of time. The big point, though, is if you're primarily feeding your cat canned cat food, he or she is getting 80% of their moisture from that canned food. So they may visibly only need to be drinking up to 30 mils, which is, that little teeny bottom of this filled with water. What is that? 30 mils, 2 tablespoons of water in a day is all they need to drink if they're primarily eating canned food. So Gussie here, she primarily gets canned food. Pretty much that's all she's eating now. And so meaning that should be supplying 80% of her moisture. Meaning throughout the day, typically, back to maybe measure 30 mils, like 2 little tablespoons of water that she should be consuming in a 24-hour period. When I see her consuming this whole bowl, that's over a cup of water, I know she's drinking far more water than she should be. The veterinary term for that is called PUPD, so it's polyuria, polydipsia. Polydipsia, they're drinking too much water. Polyuria, they're urinating much more often than normally. Secondarily, when I'm going to clean her litter box, I now see 3 or 4 or 5, sometimes 5 spots where she's completely filled up that litter box in a 24-hour period. So she's, no question, urinating excessively. So if you've got a cat with similar clinical signs where you're seeing that much water consumed, then clearly they have PUPD. So the first big thing, if you suspect that your cat is drinking more water than normal, urinating more often, is determining what is the underlying cause of that. So that means, 1, getting a urinalysis. You can start with just a basic urinalysis, where that means getting a clean litter box. You're fully cleaning out a litter box. You can either just go to your veterinary clinic, get these special, almost plastic-type beads, which act as litter, have a syringe, and have your cat urinate in there, and then collect a clean sample, have that urine examined. And that's a real good way to start, because in majority of the cases, we can determine if a cat is diabetic from the sugar within their urine, determine if there's a UTI or not going on. We can measure the concentration of that urine, called urine-specific gravity. And from there, get a pretty good sense of what is the underlying cause of the PUPD. And then the next thing is then having an appropriate workup, such as some form of blood work, CBC, and chemistry, to then determine the obvious underlying cause. About 4 main things are going to cause increased drinking, increased urination in our cats. For sure, the biggest thing, which likely my cat Gussie has, and the last time I did blood work, she had signs of it, is called chronic kidney failure or chronic kidney disease. So we know in up to 35% of cats past the age of 13 have some degree of kidney failure. And so what's happened is there's no measurable changes in kidney function until 70% of the kidneys are gone or no longer functioning. And so what happens is the kidneys are there to filter your cat's blood, and when they're not working as effectively as they should be, then they're no longer able to filter the blood properly and concentrate the urine. So instead of the urine coming out very concentrated, it comes out very clear. And secondarily, too, they're not able to remove these toxins. So there's two major ones called urea and creatinine, and those can then elevate within the blood system, making your cat feel sick. CKD, or chronic kidney disease. Gussie here is a good example of that. She is somewhere between the age of 17 and 20. Her age varies depending on, we're not exactly sure when she arrived with my mom as a kitten. But it was a long time ago. But on her last blood test that I had blood and urine that I did, she had a very low urine specific gravity. The number was 1010. So very dilute. Her kidneys are no longer being concentrating that urine. Second, she had elevated urea creatinine and slightly elevated phosphorus. Those are all four big indicators showing this cat has a measure of chronic kidney failure. A couple of big changes that I've made with Gussie since she's being diagnosed with kidney failure. First, I've just switched her to 100% canned food, so she's got much more moisture than she had in the past when she was primarily on a dry kibble diet. Secondly, I've added in something that actually binds phosphorus called aluminum hydroxide, or ALOH for short. That's something easy for your veterinarian to get and easy for you to give to your cat, because we know phosphorus is the primary nutrient that's damaging the kidney. So by binding that and preventing that from secondary damage in the kidney, it's so beneficial for your cat. It's made a huge difference for Gussie. And then lastly, when she's feeling especially sick, she's gotten herself especially dehydrated because she can't sometimes take enough moisture in because she's not able to concentrate her urine well, so she's losing all that additional fluid. I've given her SubCu Fluids. Sometimes it's only having been once every 3 or 4 weeks. And I have a specific YouTube video on doing that. It's an easy thing to learn how to do, and you as a concerned cat owner should be able to do this at home. The second most common reason that I find with cats with PUPD, especially they're slightly younger, middle-aged cats, is diabetes or diabetes mellitus. And in that condition, we've got your cat's pancreas not producing enough insulin, and your cat is then no longer able to take that sugar that's in their blood, and get it back into their cells and use it appropriately. So majority of cats, initially when they're diagnosed, it's a matter of blood and urine again. We diagnose high blood sugar, combination with sugar in the urine, and they start out on insulin. But I find so many of those cats are able to even come off of insulin if we primarily make the switch. The one single thing, which I'm sure you've heard, but you need to hear again and again, is to just 100% high protein canned cat food. You're completely eliminating the kibble. The big point here being for our cats, especially our cats that are diabetic, is our cats are obligate carnivores. They're designed to not just survive, but to thrive. They need animal protein. And that being said, they're not designed to digest carbohydrates, and that's primarily what is in this dry cat kibble. So that by having to repeatedly having their pancreas flooded with all this carbohydrate, which is then converted into sugar, their pancreas it just gets overworked. It can't produce enough insulin, hence subsequent diabetes. So if you could do one single thing differently, 100% is you get your cat 100% off of that dry kibble, and 100% onto this high protein, moist canned cat food. Third, less common but not that uncommon, can be liver disease as it causes PUPD. Our cats are drinking more, urinating more often. In some cases, you can see secondary clinical changes. You might see that your cat is jaundiced in terms of yellowing. In here, sort of around the whites of their eyes. Hi, Gussie. Sometimes just yelling. I lift up the ears. You see the yellowing just here at the base of the ear, around the skin. Or just open your cat's mouth. Look at their gums. In a jaundiced cat, you'll see the gums, instead of being that nice light pink color, they're quite yellow. So if you were to see that in your cat, one, they've got liver disease, you need to then go see your veterinarian and determine the underlying cause of that liver disease. I mean, is it fatty liver, hepatic lipidosis? Is it another type of liver disease, cholangitis, cholangiohepatitis? Regardless. But the big point of all the different alternative treatments in terms of liver disease, one, these cats need adequate nutrition and they need to be eating more than any other remedy, etc., etc., etc. So either one, your cat needs, you need to get a high protein, high fat canned food. Two, they need to be eating that on their own. You need to be force feeding them that. And if you're not able to force feed them adequate nutrition, an average cat should get about a can of food a day. Then they need to have some type of tube put in place, some type of feeding tube. Either a nasogastric tube going down their nose or a esophagostomy tube. Regardless, we need to be giving them adequate nutrition. Then you could consider some of these alternate remedies. The biggest one, which I've used so many times in the past, is this one, milk thistle. And we're looking at a dose of about 100 milligrams per cat once or twice daily. Then the last condition I want to discuss is our cats that can be PUPD. The one I would find it was more common in practice, or one of the more common causes is one called hyperthyroidism. And that's where your cat's thyroid gland enlarges. Thyroid gland is found right here at the base of their trachea or their neck. I'll try to show you, grab Gussie and show you where it's located. Wish me luck. So the thyroid gland, as I said, it's just on either side of your cat's trachea. So see where I lift her head up. You see where I've got my thumb and my forefinger going up and down her throat there? So in a normal cat, you can do that. You won't feel anything. Yeah, there's two nodes, one on the left, one on the right. There, Gus. So if your cat was hyperthyroid, the biggest thing I would see in practice is these clients would come in, their cat is eating more, they got this voracious appetite, but they're losing weight. There, Gus. And often they're drinking more water than normal, peeing more often. But the biggest clinical sign is their appetite, eating more or losing weight. So what the thyroid gland is that main gland producing thyroid hormone that regulates your cat's metabolism. Hence, that's where you're seeing the increased appetite and subsequent weight loss. We suspect there's a number of thoughts around causes of hyperthyroid disease, and there's links to soy protein, there's links to some of the chemicals that are found in the tins of cat food, the shiny coating that's in the inside bags of our pet food. We're not clear why there's such a huge incidence of thyroid disease in cats. No real evidence of perhaps that even existing 50 years ago. So clearly we've made some type of modifications to the environment and what we're feeding our cats to see this disease occur in the first place. Thank you for watching this edition of Veterinary Secrets. If you've yet to do so, I encourage you to subscribe by clicking that link in the box above. Then you can go ahead, click that link in the box below. I can send you my free books and videos on how to heal your cats at home with my top natural remedies.